What's good, everybody? It's John. I'll come back at you another video. So this video, I wanted to talk about the journey to greatness, and I want to highlight to you guys that the journey to greatness is often a lonely road. Now, I have a small little paragraph written here on my phone, so I'll read it to you guys. It says, "The journey to greatness is often a lonely road because most people will not understand. They will not share your vision, and that is okay. You will need to be your biggest supporter, and you will likely be the only one. And through the early stages, you will need to measure success through repetitions rather than outcome. The outcome will follow." Now, the journey to greatness, this is you on your journey of your growth, your improvement. This is you chasing after your goals, your dreams, your desires, because at the end of the day, we want to live a fulfilling life. I would like to think everyone on this planet wants to live a fulfilling life. And so there's certain things that each and every person wants to experience or have be part of their life um, in order to improve the quality of their life and their happiness, right? In a lot of cases, the journey to greatness is about doing something over and over and over, because the more you do something, the more repetitions you get under your belt, which means the more experience you have. The more time you spend doing something, the better you get, because you do something over and over and over, right? You improve significantly, right? It essentially is something becoming muscle memory, right? If I were to ask you to tie your shoes, you wouldn't be thinking about tying your shoes. You wouldn't even be looking at your foot while you're tying your shoe, because you've done it thousands of times in your life. So it's automatic to you. You don't have to think about the process or the steps, right? This is how you become great at anything. This is how musicians end up being, you know, famous superstar musicians, because they would play certain instruments from a young age and they would play it their whole life. So for them, it's just like, if we look at someone who plays piano, right? Like, for people who play piano their whole life, sometimes they can play the piano without even looking at the keys, without looking at anything. They'll play with their head up, or looking at other people, right? Because they've done it their whole life, right? And this is the case with everything in life, right? You become great by doing something over and over and over until it becomes habit. Now, reason why I say the journey to greatness is often a lonely road is because most people don't understand that, and most people don't operate that way. Like, sure, most people can do something each and every day, which is, showing up at their job and working a job or going to school and all these things. But like, a journey to greatness is you deciding on what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to go in life, and going after and pursuing that, because you yourself, you want to do it for yourself, because you have your own reasons and your own why behind what it is that you're doing, right? So if you have a strong enough why for why it is that you do something, that purpose is going to propel you forward. So if your purpose is strong enough, then it doesn't matter what roadblocks you face, doesn't matter what obstacles land in your way or whatever adversity you experience. Your purpose and your why is going to be so strong that it's going to propel you forward and help you blast through all of that. And most people, they don't go on that journey because it's hard, right? Most people don't go on that journey because it requires discipline, it requires dedication, it requires persistence. And for most people, they operate with the idea of instant gratification, this belief that if they do something, they want to be rewarded right away, that they want to put as minimal effort as possible and maximize their wins or their earnings, when that's not always going to be the case with life, right? When I say here the journey to greatness is often a lonely road, is because there's so few people that ever embark on that journey to greatness as far as like their own life, that most people won't understand. Like, if you decide, like, let's just use fitness as an example, right? There's people who commit to fitness, and most folks, at least here in the United States, right, fitness is not necessarily a priority, because at least with the US, according to the statistics and the data, that this is the country that has the most obese people, out of the world, right? let's just say you're someone who prioritizes fitness, right? If you have some friends that fitness isn't a priority and they want to just party and drink and, go out and eat fast food and all that stuff, right? And they invite you and you say no, right? They are probably going to question you and they probably won't understand your perspective or where you're coming from. But that's you accepting that your goals and your dreams and the things you want to go after is more important than jeopardizing it for, you know, a weekend out or for, for these bad, unhealthy habits, right? Like when you're on your journey for greatness, it requires focus. And in order for you to maintain that focus, it's a lot easier for you to maintain that focus if you cut out all other distractions. And sometimes the distractions are other people, because other people might be the ones that take you off of your path. Or you might have people who are your friends, but they don't actually ever support you as far as your goals and your dreams. Like they don't help push you forward in that direction, or if anything, they'll try to distract you and pull you away, right? Sometimes on your journey to greatness, right, people around you won't understand. And it's also not your job to explain it to them either, because what you're doing what is ultimately going to make you happy. And most people just don't understand that because they're so accustomed to just doing what they're told to do rather than doing what it is that they want to do and committing to that, right? Like I said here, it's like they will not share your vision, and that is okay. Why? Because your vision is what you've created in your mind and with your imagination, right? You can't, like, as far as I'm concerned, right, you can't project that on the wall for like everyone else to see the movie or like how you envision everything to be, right? So they won't be able to share your vision. And there's some people that unfortunately are small-minded and closed-minded, and they see reality as how things are and how things will always be, when the true successful people out there are the ones that accept themselves as creators. These are the people that see themselves as visionaries, where they can create an image or a picture or a movie in their mind of how they want their life to be, or how they want life itself or the world to be, long before it ever even gets there, right? They create something that hasn't been brought out to the surface yet. It hasn't been brought to the physical world. And these are the people that move the world forward, because they're the ones that pull the world in a direction, and they're the ones that create and help mold the world into how they want it to be, or to help mold themselves as far as how they want to be, right? Plenty of people don't take time to reflect as far as what is it that they truly want out of life. There's a lot of folks out there who just live day by day and just, they can probably do the best that they can, but they don't put any more thought into what they have that's in front of them. Like that's the furthest they'll go. They won't look past whatever they can see right now. They don't look past whatever is like physically present to create what it is that they want to experience and live out, right? I also have written here, it says, you will need to be your biggest supporter and will likely be the only one. Remember, this is a lonely road to learn, a lonely journey, right? Most people are not concerned with personal development. Most people are not concerned with investing in themselves. Most people are not concerned with reading and just growing as a person. There's so many people out there that the moment they become adults, they think they know it all. They think that they've learned everything they need to learn, that they're prepared for the real world, and that how they are is how they are, and they've accepted that is who they are, even though they can have major flaws as far as like their attitude, their personality, how they, operate with how they treat other people, right? Like they can have these flaws, but they themselves will believe that is just who they are and they can't do anything about it, even though they can change that, right? They have all the power in the world to change that. You have all the power in the world to change your attitude. You have all the power in the world to change how you treat people. You have all the power in the world to change everything about you, right? So nothing is ever permanent. And yet there's people out there who believe that how they operate is who they are, and that there's nothing they can do about it, right? You need to be your biggest supporter, because the road is typically lonely. You might not have many people in your corner, right? And what you need to remember is, in life, people typically root for you at the beginning of your journey and at the end. Most people don't pay attention to you or root for you on your journey throughout the middle of your journey, which is going to be the bulk of your journey, right? Think of it as running a marathon, right? What happens is always a crowd at the beginning of the marathon cheering when all the runners start. And then, of course, there's a crowd at the very end, at the finish line, celebrating when people make it to the end. But in a lot of cases with the marathon, right? Like a marathon is what, 25, 26 miles, right? The middle 24, 25 miles, there's not going to be like this. Sure, there's probably going to be some people celebrating here and there, but for most cases in life, for things that most people do, there aren't going to be people rooting for you or supporting you. So this is a time where, in majority of the cases, this is where you actually need the support, because this is the journey itself. This is where you're going to spend most of the time, in the middle, because in the middle is when you're learning, when you're growing, when you're improving, when you're experimenting, where you're trying new things and you're failing, right? Like you're falling down on your face, getting back up, right? This is the part where you actually need the support, and in many cases you won't necessarily have that, because most people won't understand your journey, and most people, right, like most people are just concerned with doing what's already going on in their life and not necessarily pursuing more or pursuing better, right? And if you do that, you're going to be one of the few. I guarantee you're going to be one of the few. So this is why you need to be your biggest supporter, because there's going to be, it's literally a lonely road, right? And I have here, it says you will also need to measure success through repetitions rather than outcome. And once again, if I use a fitness example, right? If you're starting off with a fitness journey, right, looking to build yourself up to get the best body, right, your dream body, you don't go to the gym the first few days, the first few weeks, or the first couple days going to the gym. You don't go to the gym and then take your shirt off to just measure your progress by just looking at yourself, right? Like that's not how it works. You measure success at the early stages of anything by repetition, by actually doing, because I think it takes around 21 days, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks for you to build a habit. And building a habit just means you doing something over and over and over. And when a habit is built, then it gets to the point where it becomes automatic, right? The same way how tying your shoes is automatic, building a habit, that means doing that thing becomes automatic, right? You're not thinking about it. And if you build a habit of going to the gym, then that means it's going to be the norm for you going to the gym. That means it's going to be normal for you to go to the gym regardless of the weather, regardless of if it's raining, snowing, if it's hot outside, whatever. And then you are going to build a habit of going to the gym so often that it feels weird not going, right? That's how it all works. When I used to be really heavy into fitness many years ago, that was how it worked for me. It's like if I used to go home and then immediately put on my gym clothes and then go straight to the gym, and I would work out, and I did this for weeks and months. And if there was a time where I didn't just grab my gym clothes, I felt out of place. I felt weird, because it's like, I know I should be doing something right now, right? Your body is acclimated to working out at a set time each and every day, so even your body feels out of place, right? Like that's how you build a habit, and that is how you want to measure success, through the early stages, through these repetitions rather than the outcome. Because if you're starting out something new, chances are you're not going to be very good, or chances are you're going to suck, and that's okay, right? It's all a learning process, and it's always going to be a journey. So this is why you want to measure success by repetition. You need to be proud of yourself. If you're on a fitness journey starting off, you need to be proud of yourself for showing up to the gym each and every day, right? Like for a lot of people, and this might sound crazy, but for a lot of people, when they're starting off their fitness journey, showing up to the gym is a success. Like just showing, like there's some people that, let's just say these are fitness instructors. There's some instructors that that help people that are like extremely resistant to going to the gym because they're worried, they're anxious, all these things. So they say, hey, I just want you to show up. Like you don't have to work out. Like just put on your clothes as if you're going to go, and then physically go there in person. And that will count as a successful day. Why? Because if they build a habit of simply just showing up each and every day, then eventually, if they're already there and if it's normal for them to show up and be there, then it's going to be normal for them to eventually work out, right? It's literally taking baby steps, right? It's almost telling them, hey, this is how you crawl before you can walk, and then before you can run. It's like, let me show up each and every day. So that's the process. So if you watching this video is another fellow content creator, then you measure your success by simply posting content. and doing it over and over and over, and have it be a goal, whether it's 1 video a week, whether it's 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, or a video every day. Make that your goal. Make it so that when you post something, it counts as a successful day. It counts as you winning, because you can't go by the outcome. You can't go by the results because you're just starting off. Then eventually, when you're happy and comfortable with like the progress that you're making, then you can start looking at more outcome based data, right? But starting off, you want it to just be repetition, right? And I put here the outcome will follow, because it's going to the gym. If you take off your shirt each and every day after you worked out for the first week, you're not going to see any progress. So then you're going to think going to the gym doesn't work. But if you go to the gym for week after week, for month after month, you are going to see progress. And that's because it's the repetition that's going to build. And then eventually the repetition is going to deliver you the outcome. Then you'll be able to take your shirt off and see the 6-pack, right? It's the same with creating content on YouTube. It's like, it's sure there might be some channels that might put a couple videos and blow up, but guess what? There's an algorithm working behind the scenes, and maybe just the algorithm hasn't come to your video yet. But if you just post one time and then you don't get 1 million views from that first video, and you think, oh, YouTube doesn't work, then it's not a success, then you'll never get there. You'll never get to your goal, and you'll never win, because you've only tried one time, right? It's like, another example is like, if you're playing baseball and the goal is for you to hit a home run, it's a lot easier to hit a home run if you can go to home plate to bat 10, 100, 1,000 times than it is going to the plate one time to bat once, right? Like, you want to give yourself as many chances as possible, and the more chances you give, the more you maximize your chances to succeed and win, because most people don't even give themselves a chance with anything, or if they do, maybe it's one attempt, and then if they don't get the result after that one attempt, they just give up. These are the people that are not going to get far in the journey to greatness, right? That's just what it is. To be great at anything, you have to be exceptional. You have to be extraordinary. And to be extraordinary, you have to do the extraordinary. That means you have to do the normal stuff that people don't like to do over and over and over. And it can be the part that people get bored of, right? It can be the part where it just gets boring because it's just doing the same thing over and over and over. But that is how it works. When you go to gym to work out, you are using the same machines over and over and over. Like, it's not like every single day you go to the gym and there's brand new machines, right? Like, you might be able to change the workouts that you do, but the machines stay the same, right? And typically people follow a regimen, and that's how they build up muscle and get strong. But doing the same thing over and over. It's with everything. You want to stack reps. You want to stack days. That is how you become great at anything. And the road to it, once again, is going to be lonely, because many people are complacent. Many people are just going to be comfortable with where they're at. Even if they say that they don't want to be there, right? They also won't do anything about the situation, which means that they'd rather be comfortable and complacent than to be uncomfortable and try to break through. And if you're one of the few people who want better for yourself and better for your life and even better for the people around you, right, at some point in the future, right, that you want to be able to take care of them and do all that stuff, right, sometimes it's going to be a journey that you have to go on alone, because other people around you may not understand, and most likely will not understand. And remember, it's like, when you're on your journey, the bulk of the journey is going to be you in the middle. It's going to be you running the mile, and the 24, 25 miles in the middle, you probably won't see people there cheering for you. And that's when you need the support the most. But that's why you have yourself. This is why you want to support yourself. This is why you want to be proud of the work that you do, and be proud of what it is that you do, the value that you provide, and what you stand for, because that's what's going to propel you forward. Your purpose, your why you do things, for a better life for yourself, for a better life for your family, whatever. They may not understand it right now, but I promise you, if you keep being better and you keep showing up and you strive to be the best at what it is that you do and what it is that you enjoy, you'll eventually be great at that thing. You'll eventually become one of the best, and then you'll ultimately become irreplaceable. And when you're someone that's irreplaceable, then guess what? That means that someone can't just go down the street and find another copy of you or find someone else like you. So if they can't find someone else like you, then if they want the best, then they'll go to you, right? This is how it all works. I don't think there's enough people that are striving for greatness in the area. I don't think there's enough people who's willing to continue investing in themselves and growing, which is why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because for me, I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to become the best version of myself, and I also want to share that with other people, because I know there was a time for myself when I was a lot younger where I questioned everything about life, and I questioned, so much, and I just felt as though like I didn't have someone that I can go to with like answers or with guidance to help me as far as where I wanted to go. So I wanted to be this mature version of me, is basically giving back to the younger version of me, and giving back to you, the viewer, and to the rest of the world, because I want to help us become the best that we can. I want each and every person to achieve greatness in whatever area that they deem fit, right? And here to tell you right up front that it is going to be a lonely road, but that's okay, because it is a road worth traveling. So if there's anything that is important to you, go all in, go 10 toes, and just work at it. And if you don't see the crowd of people celebrating you, right, or if they just celebrate once you get started and then you don't hear from them again, just know that they'll eventually come around and celebrate once you win, because people want to associate themselves with other people that are successful, right? People don't necessarily want to associate themselves with people who they feel aren't doing anything, or like aren't succeeding, or right, like that's how it all works. So you just want to remember who the people were in your corner, for the people that supported you at the beginning of your journey, because that right there, that's rare, right? And throughout the actual journey, you need to be your number one supporter. You need to find ways to root for yourself, even if right now the results may not be where you want it to be, right? You want to just keep at it, because at a certain point, right, you are going to win. So it's only a matter of time. So you want to operate with that mentality. It's only a matter of time. And in due time, right, you'll eventually get to where it is that you're going. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe as you're on the road to a million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.